before we start, let us sing Radha Madhav to glorify Krishna and Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan. Okay? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodhanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you very much for joining for today's Sunday Feast program. It is wonderful that many of you are here. So before we start hearing the katha about today's lecture, it's a special day and I'll be speaking about a very special topic today. But before that we will recite the prayers. So you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim संगतो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकतः कृष्णाः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदिः अन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधोनोति सहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थैष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृथा मिथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today I'll be speaking on a very special topic. Some people might also get afraid when I say the topic, the name of the topic even. But don't be afraid. So it's okay. And today I'm not speaking any specific shloka. So what I will be speaking it's from Bhagavata Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a wonderful story. So today's topic is actually about the teachings of Yamaraja. Oh. Some people, Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice to see you, I will leave, I have some work Prabhu. No, you don't have to be afraid. I'm not, in this lecture I will not be teaching how to get caught with Yamaraj. I'll be explaining how we can be away from Yamaraj. Okay? So, today I specifically chose this topic for today because of a reason. Because today is, if you take the Vedic calendar, today is Bharani Nakshatra. This is a star, a specific star, which is actually ruled by Yamaraj, Lord Yamaraj. And today was a Sunday, and the next Bharani Nakshatra, I think, it doesn't come on a Sunday. And also Bhai Dooj is a special day for Yamaraj, and that will be close to, Krishna Janmashtami and Rakhi and so on. So that day we have other programs, so I will not be able to give that lecture that day. So today I kind of wanted to speak specifically about Yamaraj and his teachings. So many of you might know Yamaraj. Firstly, who is Yamaraj? So Yamaraj is in charge, for the punishing the souls according to their bad deeds, so that they can learn from their mistakes. It's like you have the prison, and then someone is punishing. The court orders that you made this mistake, and then so you have to get this punishment. So why is it? It is for learning. It is for purification. So Yamaraj is the son of Suryadev, God, sun god, and is also brother of Yami or Yamuna, the river Yamuna. So Bhai Dooj is specifically very closely associated with this. Rakhi, you also say it's Rakhi, right? So the Rakhi, so Balram Purnima also that day. So anyways, so he is also the brother of Yamuna river. And so I spoke specifically this day to actually learn more about the wonderful instructions and teachings of Yamaraj. And it's really beautiful and wonderful. So Yamaraj teachings, this was given 5,000 years ago. So this is not specifically for any sect of people. This is for basically all the souls. We are all souls. We are not this body. This body is just a chemical. And when the soul is out of this body, out of this chemical body, then this chemical body is of no use. It has to be either buried or burned. So, and before I go to the teachings of Yamaraj, it is very important. So I need to give a background story. So it's important to understand why I'm speaking all these things. Okay. So I'll be speaking about a story about a person, a real-time story. This happened in Uttar Pradesh, in Kannauj, current day Kannauj. That's anyone here from Uttar Pradesh? It's close to Kanpur and Kannauj, yeah. So this happened, and anyone wants to make a guess what story I'll be speaking about?
Near-death experiences, right?
Yeah, it should be about near-death experience.
You mentioned it last time, so that's why.
And what is the story about? Do you know about whom? Anyone can make a guess what story I'll be speaking about?
Ajamil.
Wonderful, Ajamil. So I'll be speaking for some time about Ajamil's story to give a background of why I'm speaking this. So Ajamil was a wonderful Brahmana, he was a great Brahmana, very pious Brahmana, truthful, and he was serving his parents. He also was married. He had his wife and children, well-mannered, and he was also worshipping the Shaligram Shila of Narayan Shaligram Shila. So he was a very wonderful Brahmana, and one day he went to the forest to fetch some fruits and flowers and so on for the puja, for the worship and so on. And he saw a man, and this man in the forest was lustily embracing a prostitute. And this was a bit of a distraction for him, and then he saw that they were embracing, they were kissing each other, and he had this dormant lust in him. He was a good Brahmana, he was doing wonderful service and wonderful worship, but this dormant lusty desires in Ajamil, this awakened. And then because of that he fell under the control of illusion. And because of that his lust won over the Shastras and the Vedas. He was very well versed in the Vedas. It's not that he did not know about the Vedas. So he knew very well this is wrong, but his lust won over this. So this is not the story of Ajamil, it's for us. We have these lusty things to distract here in our phone, just in the tip of our fingers. It's very easy to become Ajamils nowadays. Back then it was, Ajamil was there, he went to the forest to actually lose his things, and now it is very easy. Every nook and corner, every step it's difficult. So that's why in Bhagavatam it is said, padam padam vipadam. It is very difficult, every step, padam padam, every step. So, and then Ajamil always thought about this prostitute, and after his father died, he basically had this prostitute as his servant at home. And after having the servant, later he also married her. He abandoned his wife, he abandoned his mother, he married her, and then he also got children. 10 children he got from this prostitute. And then he even stopped worshipping the Shaligram Shila, the Narayana Shila that he had. And then he even, to meet the expenses of maintaining the family of 10 kids and the wife and so on, he even started stealing and cheating people for getting the money to maintain his family and so on. And he became, extremely absorbed in this kind of life. And then he had basically 10 sons, and the last son he named as Narayan. So because of his past pious deeds that he did with worshipping the Shaligram Shila and so on and so forth, he got the piety to name his last son as Narayan. And every time, these small babies is so cute and adorable, they don't know how to speak, they are like very young and adorable. These small kids are very attractive. So this Narayan was very attractive to him. And then he got very attached to him. He was also always calling Narayan. He was always calling Narayan. Narayan, come here, sit. Narayan, come and take this water. Narayan, come and drink this milk. Narayan, come and eat this food. Like that, he was always calling Narayan, 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 thousands of times, like that. He didn't realize that he's actually purifying. But anyways, we will come back to that. And while absorbed in his life, he was almost 88 years old, and he didn't realize the time of death was close. He was 88 years, and the time of death was there. And Ajamil saw extremely unpleasant, ugly-looking, crooked, and fierce Yamadutas with twisted faces. They look very weird. Nowadays they make this new hairstyle, right, with the hairs like this. These Yamadutas, they had hair standing like this all over the body. So that was like this Yamadutas looking very fearful, frightened, and he was completely shattered. He was anxious, he got fearful, and he got completely bewildered. And then he called out because of this bewilderment. He was crying in tears. He was great Brahmana. He was 88 years old. He was experienced in his life, and he was crying because of that anxiety. This is not just the story of Ajamil. It's actually for us also. We never know when the death will come. Ajamil was very lucky, 88 years. Good. Many of us, I don't know. So the modern age has been so much that, suddenly people who look very healthy, they go to the gym, they are very healthy, they look fit and fine. Just 40 years, 45 years, you see them getting heart attacks and just dying. Death can come any moment. It's not like Ajamil, 88 years, long time to go. Death hai na, baad mein aayega. We cannot be like that. Death will come later. So, anyways, let's not be too heavy. But Ajamil was, at that time, he had this time of death. And when he was so anxious and crying in tears, he saw these Yamadutas, very fearful, very hefty, these Yamadutas. Then he was very anxious and he called out for his son, Narayan, 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 Narayan. He called out for his son. He called out for his son, not for the Lord Narayan. He called out for his son. But in the later part of this chapter in the Bhagavatam, it is clearly mentioned that because of his past pious deeds of worshipping the Narayan Shila, although he called for his son Narayan, he actually could remember Lord Narayan at the time, even though he called his child's name Narayan. So because he called the names Narayan, due to his offenseless chanting, sometimes we also do chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. This finger is anyways empty, right? Hare Ram, Ram Ram. No, not this is offenseful chanting. Not like this. This is not the way to chant. He was chanting offenselessly, without any control. He was just completely offenselessly chanting. And then because he was chanting like this, the Vishnu Dutas also arrived at the place. And the Vishnu Dutas arrived at the time the Yamadutas was snatching the soul out of the body, to take the soul out of this body of Ajamil. And he had this near-death experience, and he had a wonderful conversation. And then he saw a wonderful conversation, something really amazing. And Vishnu Dutas said, hey, this person, Ajamil, he falls under our jurisdiction. He does not fall under your jurisdiction. Go away. And then the Yamadutas were like shocked. Wait, what? Until now, nobody has distracted our service? I mean, this guy is completely gone. He is completely impious. He is doing all sorts of papa karma. He completely is a very sinful person. And this person is our department. The Yamadutas are thinking, this person should be our department. How is it that these guys are coming and saying that Vishnu Dutas, who are these to say that this person belongs to us? They were a bit shocked, and they had never encountered that someone obstructed their service. And then Vishnu Dutas scolded them. He said, alas, it is so painful to see the irreligion is introduced in an assembly where religion should be maintained. The Vishnu Dutas were scolding the Yamadutas. That a place where religion has to be maintained, irreligion is happening. And those who are in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless person, unpunishable person. And Ajamil would call out his son, Narayan, please come here, Narayan, 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 all the time. And simply by chanting the name of Lord Narayan, in this way he is sufficiently atoned for all the sinful reactions, not just in this life, not just in Ajamil's this life, but millions of lives before. Millions of lives before. Just one time calling the word Narayan, he had just atoned all his sins that he had committed, not just in this life, but also in the past life. The Vishnu Dutas said like this. And upon hearing this, there are, I will not get into the details of the shlokas. There are 24 such wonderful shlokas in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and completely discussing about these conversations, nice, very wonderful conversations happening between Vishnu Dutas and the Yamadutas. So, like this, and then Ajamil was there. What was he doing? He was near-death experience. His soul was almost out of the body, and he is hearing on the deathbed this discourse between the two people. It said in the Bhagavatam, discourse. I was like, discourse, we use it like when I'm giving a discourse. But Ajamil heard a discourse about Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas conversation. And then after this, Ajamil, the Vishnu Dutas were completely, repeatedly glorifying the glories of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, Hari. And when chanting knowingly or unknowingly, or even jokingly, or even by music, we do music, we just did the kirtan. There are many people who criticize the people who do kirtan, that what? God's name, you don't have any seriousness. God's name should be said like Om Vishvam Vishnarva Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krut Bhav. Well, wait, it's okay. This reciting of the Lord's name is a Vedic way of saying it, but we can also do a music. It is approved in Srimad Bhagavatam. We can also sing, we can always dance. There are some people, when the kirtan is happening, and then people are standing behind. There is nice kirtan happening, people are dancing, and come Prabhu. No, you don't have to hesitate. You can just dance. It's better to dance here in front of the Lord. It is better to dance for the music of the Harinam rather than dancing in the pub. If we dance in the pub, we are stuck in this material world. We don't get liberated. If we dance here for the kirtan, as it is said here by the Vishnudutas, you sing, you dance, you recite the names of the Lord, you sing and dance, then you are liberated from this material world. You dance in the pub, you get stuck in this material world. You dance in the kirtan, then you get liberated from this material world. It is approved. Vedas are one aspect of it, but at the same time it is also approved to dance. So don't hesitate. When the kirtan is going on, full energy and dance. So like this, Ajamil got the second chance, and he immediately realized all his past misdeeds, and he completely regretted for whatever he had done. He immediately gave up this kind of a life, and he immediately, as soon as he got the next life, the same life, but he got his soul back into his body, he immediately remembered all this conversation that happened between the Vishnudutas and the Yamadutas, and he immediately went to Haridwar, and then he absorbed himself in the transcendental form. So in the Bhagavatam, they say, Shukadeva Goswami, he says, transcendental form of the Lord Vishnu. So he does not, which means that the Lord has a form. It's also important to observe that shloka that is there, transcendental form of the Lord. Many people say that the Lord's form is God is basically only formless. No, just like the light is coming from the bulb, like that there is a person, there is a transcendental form from whom comes the effulgence. Just like from the sun comes the sunlight, bulb comes the bulb light, like that from the sun, from the person Krishna, from the person Narayan comes his effulgence, light, and that is called as the Brahma Jyoti. So some people are only on the platform of Brahman, and they think that Brahman is the transcendental, but also Krishna's form is transcendental. Okay, so it is not a material form. So just like light comes from sun, the Brahma Jyoti is an effulgence that comes from the form of Krishna. So like that, Ajamil surrendered, and then he went to Haridwar, and he completely immersed himself into worshipping the Lord Vishnu. And then at the end of his life, when again Lord Vishnudutas came, and they took him back to Vaikuntha Loka in a wonderful golden plane. This was just the background. So I was planning for 15 minutes of background, so I took 15 minutes. And then the actual conversation later is interesting. Until now there was only the conversation between the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas, Ajamil, and then Ajamil got the next life, the same life but a second chance, and then he perfected his life. Everything was fine. He went back to Vaikuntha, done. But what is the case of the Yamadutas? They were completely in chaos. Until then, nobody had disturbed them in their service. Nobody had come and disturbed them. And who are these people? Vishnudutas? Coming and disturbing us? Who are these? They were even depressed. They got puzzled because they were defeated. Nobody had defeated. Someone looks very fearful. And then, in these big champions, they come. And the person like me comes in front of these big hefty guys. And then say, I defeated this guy. This person will feel shattered. I am like 120 kilos and this guy 40 kilo guy, what is this? How can he defeat me? They get shattered, right? Like this, they came with such mighty fearful way, the Yamadutas, they got shattered because they were a bit defeated. And they went and complained to their boss. Who is their boss? Yamaraja. So he also called as Yamadharmaraj, because he keeps the dharma. And then he says the same thing to his servants also, to the Yamadutas. And then when they went and complained, explained everything that happened, and then they said, Yamaraj, for one single case there are two contradictory decisions made, two contradictory verdicts. According to us, this person had to be taken with us and he had to come to Yamaraj. But there were some other guys called as Vishnudutas, it seems. They came and they took him away. What is this? For one case, two kinds of verdicts. This is not fair. Something is wrong. And they also explained that that he called Narayan, it seems. So the Vishnudutas came, it seems, and then the Vishnudutas took him away, it seems. What is this? I don't understand this logic. And then they, having questioned this, Yamaraj is a wonderful Vaishnava. As soon as he heard the word Narayan from the mouth of these Yamadutas, he got into ecstasy. He got so happy that someone called Narayan. This is amazing. Oh my God, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. So he got ecstasy by hearing the name of Lord Narayan from the mouth of the Yamadutas. He remembered immediately, he went into trance and he immediately remembered the lotus feet of the Lord, and then he began to reply. And Yamadharmaraja or Yamaraj is a great Vaishnava. He is considered one of the 12 Mahajans. So we will see in the future what are those 12 Mahajans and what do they say. But very interesting what he says to his servants. My dear servants, you have accepted me as the Supreme. Okay, you have accepted me as the Supreme. But factually, I am not. I am not. Above me and above all other demigods or Devi Devatas is one Supreme Master and the controller. And that he controls, the entire world is controlled by him. Just as the different limbs of the body cannot see the eyes, the living entities cannot see the Supreme Lord situated within their heart as Paramatma. So, it's a very long statement, but it is actually very interesting that he says to the Yamadutas that until now you had thought that I am your master, I am your supreme, so on, I am your boss and so on. But then the Yamadutas are clarified later by Yamaraj that above me I have a master. And that is what even Brahmaji says in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigrahaha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara means what? I am also Ishvara to certain extent. What? To certain extent. I can play this kartal, I can take this mobile, I can lift this mobile, I can lift this laptop. I have certain control over certain things. Very little. Very little. But the supreme controller, the controller of me, I have a controller. And I have at home, Prabhu, my wife is not here today, I can say, so I have a controller. Just saying. So like that. And then we have another controller. We have another controller, our supreme controller. And then we have Brahmaji. And then the supreme controller, like that, if we go back and back and back, Brahmaji says that Ishvaraha, the supreme controller, Paramaha, supreme, is Krishna. And Satchidananda Vigraha, and he is having a form, Vigraha, he is having a form. Whether it is also in Lakshmi Narasimha Stotra Shatanama Stotra or even Sri Venkateshwara Stotra Shatanama Stotra, there is Satchidananda Vigrahaya Namaha in Lakshmi Narasimha Stotra. And in Venkateshwara Stotra also, Lord Balaji, Venkateshwara is none other than Krishna himself. There also the Ashtotra says Satchidananda Rupaya Namaha. So they have a form. And that what is the form? Sat, Chit and Ananda. Eternal, blissful and all knowledgeable. So Anadir Adir Govindaha. So I have a cause and my parents have a cause. If you go back, Kashyapa Muni, if you go back, Brahmaji, if you go back, he has a cause, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and he has a cause, Sankarshan, and he has a cause which is Balramji, he has a cause which is Krishna. So Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigrahaha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. It is exactly very similar what Lord Yamadharmaraja says here, that this Supreme Lord Krishna Narayan, he is the one who controls the entire world. Everything is controlled by him. People don't see him. Can we see our own eyes? Except we have a mirror. Otherwise, can we see our own eyes? No. So he is saying that Krishna lies in our heart. as Paramatma beside the soul. He's at the super soul beside the soul. We cannot see him. We have to perform certain austerities to see that. What is that austerity? He will say that here. So Yamadharmaraja continues, I or me, Indra, Niriti, Varuna, Chandra, Agni, Lord Shiva, Pavana, Pavana means Vayu, Lord Brahma, Surya, Vishvasu, 8 Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Maruts, the Rudras, the Siddhas, the Marichis, sages, and everyone, etc., many people are certainly freed from the influence of the material modes of nature, passion, and ignorance, which is Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Nevertheless, although we means he is saying that all of these people who I said, although we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Lord. What then is to be said of others who are in illusion, merely speculate to know God? You see? So, are we greater than this great Shiva? Are we greater than Brahmaji? Huh? Are we greater than Yamaraj? Are we greater than Pavana, Lord Shiva, Brahma, Marichi? No, we are not greater than these people. These are authorities. These are great authorities. And they are saying that others who live under illusion merely speculate about God. Is everything fine?
She needs a Bhagavad Gita.
Very good.
And she needs to go, so we have to.
You can take some prasadam before you go.
Okay.
Maybe some fruits.
How much time?
We will have standing kirtan also.
I plan to finish around 5 in 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and then we have a standing kirtan for another 15 minutes, and then after that prasadam.
Okay, alright, that's
I hope you can stay. Yeah, wonderful.
but I need a book.
You need
you
a
can
Bhagavad Gita in
Yeah.
English.
English.
I will fix that for you.
Okay, alright, thanks.
You will get that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. So like that, these are great personalities, and Yamaraj is saying that all these people, we are always in the mode of Sattvaguna, in the mode of goodness. And we ourselves, we are not able to understand God. There are some people in this world, you ask them, do you believe in God? Hey, God. Who God? I don't believe in God. And what God? I don't believe in God. Who God? You just make some picturization. You just make some books, it seems. Some Vyasadeva, it seems. Someone composed some book, Bhagavad Gita, some book, Srimad Bhagavatam, 5,000 years. What? Who knows they really composed or not? 5,000 years ago, somewhere it is written, God, it seems. We have to believe that, it seems. There are people like that. And some people, I am God. I am God. Hey. Ask them to control their bowel movements for 20 days. Forget about 20 days, not for 2 minutes they can control if they have to run. And they claim themselves to be the controllers. Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. God is what? Parama Krishna. He is the supreme controller. And they claim to be God or become God. Oh, yeah, no. God has always been God. God is God. God will be God. No one can become God. Okay? So this is all mental speculations. Yamadharmaraja is saying that you cannot do these kinds of mental speculations. There are people in illusion, in Maya. Some people say to escape all these things, they say Krishna is in Maya. Hey, no. Krishna has never been in Maya. Krishna is never in Maya. It is very clear in the Shastras that Maya comes under Krishna. Okay, in the 7.14 there is a shloka, Daivi hi esha gunamai mama maya, he is saying. Mama maya duratyaya. Mam eva ye prapadyanti maya metam tarantite. So he is saying mama maya duratyaya. It is very difficult, this mama maya, my illusion. It is very difficult. Mam eva ye prapadyante. When you surrender to me, only then you can understand and get out of this maya. So Krishna is not in Maya, we are in Maya. Okay? So this is something that Yamaraja also says and confirms that Lord Hari is never in Maya. We are in Maya. Of course, when I say it's in general public, but devotees are never in Maya. I will come back to that. So, like that he says that in the next shloka, Yamaraj instructs, we born as humans, what should we be doing? Yamaraj is saying in the next shloka. Yamaraj says, I was saying about these 12 Mahajans, right? Now I will tell what are those 12 Mahajans. Who are those 12 Mahajans? Yamaraj says, Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, the Lord Kapila, who is the son of Devahuti, and Swayambhuva Manu, Prahalad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma, Bhishma Pitamaha, Bali Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, and I myself, means Yamaraj. These are the 12 Mahajans. Okay? And Yamaraj is saying that these 12 Mahajans, they know the transcendental and real religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma. They know this very well. Okay, the real religious principle known as Bhagavata Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for the Supreme Lord. And it is very difficult for the ordinary beings to understand this. It is very difficult for the ordinary beings to understand. So he's saying these 12 Mahajans, they know very well what is Bhagavata Dharma, to surrender to the Supreme Lord, to love God, to do transcendental loving devotional service, bhakti yoga to the Supreme Lord. He knows this very well. And he is saying that it is very difficult for ordinary human beings to understand, and if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha Loka. So it is very difficult for us to understand what is Bhagavata Dharma, what is the real religious principle. Very difficult to understand that. Those great Mahajans have perfected it, and we humans, we think, I know. You try to go and say, Prabhu, there is Bhagavad Gita. Do you please have it? I know. Bhagavad Gita, I know everything. I know everything. Who are you, Prabhu? I'm an Indian, Prabhu. Where is the concept of Bhagavad Gita? The Bhagavad Gita says that we are souls. And this person is saying, I'm from India, Prabhu, I'm an Indian. No. The message of Bhagavad Gita is not there in his head. I know, Prabhu, I know. And they're just escaping from spirituality. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. As humans, here, we are born as humans, and Yamaraj is saying that once they are born as humans, they have to actually understand the supreme religious principle, Bhagavata Dharma, the religious principle. And what is this Bhagavata Dharma? The next shloka, Yamaraj clarifies what is this Bhagavata Dharma, which the 12 Mahajans know of. Yamaraj says, devotional service, bhakti yoga. He says devotional service beginning with what? Chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle, Bhagavata Dharma, for the living entity in the human society. Clear cut answer. Very clear cut answer. Chanting of the holy names and bhakti yoga. This has been always propagated in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well. And this is exactly what Yamaraja has also been saying since 5000 years. This is a very clear message in the Shastras. Those who are chanting of the holy names of the Lord and doing the devotional service, this is the topmost, and this is the culmination. Rather than saying topmost, yes, it is topmost, but also it is the culmination of all the karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga, hatha yoga. Every process, at the end they come to bhakti yoga. This is the topmost. And then chanting of the holy names of the Lord. What we are doing here, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And Yamaraj continues to instruct whom to bring to him and whom not to bring to him. This is another very interesting aspect. Who to bring? He says, my dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy names on qualities of Krishna. Krishnaya no namati yat chitra ekadapi. Ekadapi means even once, if they have not used their tongues to chant the holy name of Krishna and qualities of Krishna. Whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once. Chetas chana smarati tat charanara vindam. Chetas chana smarati tat charanara vindam. Smarati, who do not remember the lotus feet, charanara vindam, the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Sundari ki. Jai. Whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Such persons are not are such persons are within the jurisdiction of my punishment. You know, this is what Lord Yama is saying. Those who do not surrender to the Lord, those who do not chant the names of the Lord even once, those whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna, those people, he is saying, bring them to me. Who not to bring? This is also important to know. Because why are we hearing all these things? So that we know how to not get caught with Yamaraj, how to not get caught with Yamadutas, right? We are hearing all these why? To get not to get caught. Here he is saying that those who are following this Bhagavata Dharma, the Bhakti Yoga, beginning with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, or the devotees of Lord Hari, because they have surrendered to the lotus feet, because they have surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Hari, even Brahma, the time factor, and me, Yamaraj, me, are not competent to chastise them. Even Brahmaji, the time factor, and Yamadev cannot chastise these people who have surrendered to the Supreme Lord Sri Hari and who are actually doing the Bhagavata Dharma, Bhakti Yoga, beginning with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And lastly, Yamaraj felt himself, when he actually saw all these things happening, you know, he felt that, oh my God, what these my Yamadutas did. They actually did an offense to the Vaishnava like Ajamil. Vaishnava, they say he's a Vaishnava, Ajamil, because he recited the name of Lord Narayan. And Yamaraj is saying that I became an offender. And he's praying for, he did not do it. He actually, his disciples did it. His Yamadutas, he did it. And now Yamaraj is such a Vaishnava. This is what even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you know, in the third verse of the Shikshashtakam, Trunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna, means you need to be humble as the blade of grass. So humble. He's so humble, and he's saying, oh my Lord, my servants have clearly committed a great offense by attempting to arrest a Vaishnava. Therefore, please forgive us. Out of ignorance, we failed to recognize Ajamil as one of your dear servants. This is what Yamaraj is saying, that he is asking for forgiveness to Lord Narayan. And after the story was complete, Shukadev Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj, because this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is saying that as a conclusion, that the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot even the reactions of the greatest sins. Therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtana movement, is the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. One cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Very clearly he has been saying this, that just by certain Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, one can actually attain some pious deeds, some good karma. They can go to higher planetary systems. But if they don't understand the person behind the Vedas, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter 15th shloka, he says that Vedescha sarvam aham veda vedyo vedanta krut vedavit eva chaham. I have to be understood by the Vedas. I am the composer of the Vedantas and the Vedanta Sutras. He has to be understood. But studying Vedas, why? Just for ritualistic. Just for ritualistic. Now, then we are not in a good state. That is, I mean, I'm not speaking of anyone who is actually performing Vedic sacrifices or doing any Vedic rituals and so on. It's not to offend them, or it's not to offend them. But all these are to be done to understand Krishna, understand the Supreme Person who is to be understood from the Vedas. That was done long time ago. In the recent past, the Vedas are only used for what? Getting better life, going to Satyaloka, going to Swargaloka. No. Then you have to, after all the pious credit points are finished, you have to come back to this material world. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. This is a place of misery, Krishna says. So, he's saying that, Shukadev Goswami is saying that chanting of the Sankirtana movement is the most auspicious activity. That is what we did now, and we will also do soon. We will do the Sankirtana movement. And the Bhagavata Dharma, this is exactly what we are doing in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This exactly the devotional service, beginning with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. This is not something what we are doing here in ISKCON. Sometimes we sing and dance in the name of the Kirtan. we glorify the Lord, and we hear about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear about the wonderful auspicious Vaishnavas, and Srila Prabhupada, he came all over from India to the west actually to start this Harinam Sankirtan in this part of the world, in the western part of the world. And whatever we are doing, this is this Bhagavata Dharma, this is exactly what ISKCON is promoting. So it's not a new philosophy. ISKCON, some organization. Hey, some organization, Prabhu, some foreign organization, it seems. No. It's not about any organization. It's of course an organization. But Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their mood is what? To give this Bhakti Yoga. To give the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. He came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is here on the altar on the right side. He came 500 years ago, who is Krishna himself. He's Krishna himself. He came here 500 years ago to inaugurate this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to inaugurate this Harinam Sankirtana Yajna, which has been approved in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukadeva Goswami. It has been approved by Yamaraja in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This happened much before the Srimad Bhagavatam was composed in the case of Ajamil. Ajamil was doing the Harinam Sankirtan. Why not we do it? Why do we have a problem with that? No, we have to do it. That is the purpose of a human life. Okay? So that is the purpose of human life. And we are not greater than these great Mahajans. We have to take their instructions the way it is. And we have to follow them, including Yamaraja, Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj here, or even Prahlad Maharaj. He has so much of difficulties in his life because of his father Hiranyakashipu. Every time, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Every time, all the moments. This is what we should be doing. Difficulties are there in life. We are in this material world. We have this material body, but we should never forget Krishna. We must always hear about Krishna. And there is this one thing that Yamaduta says, after hearing from their master, this was very wonderful to hear. I was like literally ecstatic when I heard this. Be attentive and what is the sentence. After hearing from the master about the extraordinary glories of the Lord and his holy names, the Yamadutas were struck with wonder. Ever since that time, as soon as the Yamadutas see a devotee, they become very afraid, and so they do not even dare to look at him. Haribol. They become very afraid, and so they do not even dare to look at the devotees. So, in the Skanda Puran, it is mentioned that the devotees of the Lord, those people who decorate this body, some much decorate this body with the Gopi Chandan, with these Tulsi neck beads, who are chanting the holy names of the Lord, Sri Hari, and so on. Those people are never approached by the Yamadutas. They are never approached by the Yamadutas. This is not just about some ISKCON people wearing this. Tilaka, ISKCON people wear this. No, this is in the Skanda Puran. It is said that every person has to have this if they have to escape from Yamadutas. I mean, I'm not frightening you, but I'm just saying this is the Shastras. That is why we were encouraged to always have these. Of course, if anyone have any questions, if they have these, or if they have to wear tilak, what rules they have to follow, it is very simple standard rules. You can come back to me later. It's just following the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication like caffeine or alcohol or cigarettes, drugs. No intoxication and no illicit sex. Just sex within the marriage. No illicit sexual activities. And just chanting the holy names of the Lord. That's it. Hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. It is so simple. And we are protected. We are protected. This is not just for some ID card. This person belongs to ISKCON. No. One, yeah, of course. But the higher purpose is, this is to show to the Yamadutas that we belong to Krishna. Okay? So that is why we have to always, let us become Vaishnavas. So all these things that I have been saying, this is as a conclusion, it is actually to say that the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas, they had this wonderful conversation in front of Ajamil. Ajamil realized his mistakes. And that he recited the name of Lord Narayan at the end of his death. And what we are doing, we are actually practicing for that. Death is the final exam. Every moment we have to keep chanting. Why? So that we can remember the name of Lord Narayan at the time of death. You know, we have to remember the name of Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna, Lord Hari at the time of death. Time of death is very difficult, and we never know when it can come. So we have to always think, and this is a preparation for big exam. For IAS exam, you can study in one day, pass the IAS. Many people in India will know this, Indian Administrative Service. It's not easy. It's a very difficult exam. You need years and years of practice. This is a process. Years and years of practice, and at the time of death, we can say, oh Krishna, Krishna, please protect me, Krishna. Oh, done. Perfect. This is how it should be. You know? So, like that, so once we are actually participating in the Harinam Sankirtan, we perform the Bhagavata Dharma, do the Bhakti Yoga, starting with chanting of the holy names of the Lord, have the certain marks of Lord Hari, of Lord Vishnu on our body, Dwadasha Tilak, we say these are the Dwadasha Tilak of the Gopi Chandan, have the Tulsi Mala, then we are never touched by the Yamadutas, Lord Yama, and we are never stuck in this material world, and then we can go back to Vaikuntha, to Goloka Vrindavana. And another last point that I want to say is, this is not about selfishness. It's not just, I want to get liberated, I will do. No. This is also confirmed by Narsimhadev to Prahlad Maharaj, and this is also said here, that when someone becomes a Vaishnava, when someone becomes a devotee of the Lord, it is, yes, this person is liberated. Okay, fine, good, very nice, this is appreciated. Apart from that, when we take up to Krishna Bhakti, when we become Vaishnavas, not only us, but even our ancestors, forefathers, and many past generations, they all get liberated, they all can have an opportunity to go back to Vaikuntha, to Goloka Vrindavana. There are many ancestors who might be struggling in many different hellish planets. There might be many ancestors of ours who might have difficulties, they might have even become ghosts. In English there is no different terminologies. There's just ghost and devil. But in Sanskrit we have Rakshasas, Yakshas, Brahma Rakshasas, Bhuta, Preta. And then when they are becoming like that, the persons, the current generation, they get the Preta dosha, they get the Pitru dosha, and all these things are there. Everything will get cleared. And those people also, the ancestors, the Pretas, the Bhutas, the ghosts that they have become in the past, don't know for what reason they became. But when we take up to Krishna consciousness, when we take up the chanting, when we take up the Vaishnava Dharma, when we take up the Sanatana Dharma, which is the Bhagavata Dharma, devotional service, chanting with the holy names of the Lord, follow the four regulative principles, and we surrender to the Supreme Lord Hari, then even their lives is perfected. Okay? So this is the very important message that I just wanted to say this, and this is in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is the teachings of Yamaraja. So I will stop here, and I'm expecting one important question. So I hope that I get this question. If not, I will ask this question myself and I will answer this. So thank you very much for patiently listening to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. He lifted his hand.
You go first.
Okay.
Just a simple question. You mentioned that Yamaraj did not many times heard the sound of Narayan, and the Yamadutas never heard it before. So is it that because it is Kali Yuga, the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Srimad Bhagavatam is pronounced, and this is very important for this age of Kali, or was there always? Just a question.
This is an interesting question, actually. I don't know the exact answer. I mean, of course, in Kali Yuga, this is been more, actually, definitely.
Yeah.
But in the Satya Yuga, it is like almost nil. The concept of this influence of Kali, or the bad, let's say, bad influence. But when it comes to Treta Yuga, this was 25% of the people. But when it came to Dwapar Yuga, it was 50% of the people. And when it comes to Kali Yuga, it is almost 100% of the people. So most of us are like that. So I think that is why Yamaraj was never used to this. He was like, or even the Vishnu Yamadutas were never used to this. Someone is chanting Hari. They were not used to it. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope that answered. Hare Krishna. You had a question?
Yeah. So as you said, at the last moment of his life, he chanted, he spoke name of Narayan. and then that's why he got liberated or got away from the Yamaduta. Is it just saying the name, or if you last moment of the life you just hear and then that will also work?
Yes, hearing will also work.
Even if someone plays some
Yeah.
Harinam, then
It's hearing also works. Very important question. But what I want to highlight here is, if you want to either hear the names of the Lord Hari, Krishna, Vishnu, Narayan, even hearing or speaking, for everything it is not possible by my energy. I did it. I will recite the name of the Lord at the end. No. It is only possible if the Lord will allow us to hear, if the Lord will allow us to speak. It's only by their mercy we can actually do that, whether hearing or speaking. So that is an important point. But either of the cases, it is definitely taking the person back to Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vrindavana. This person is never going to stay in this material world. Even the water of Tulsi water, sometimes they also recite the shloka of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and so on. So like that, all these are different processes, but it is Harinam Sankirtan, Harinam, taking the Harinam or listening to Harinam is the best. But all this is possible only by the Lord's mercy, Daya, Karuna. If there is no Karuna, no mercy, then it doesn't happen. And that is why we have to strive. So we become Vaishnavas, how? We become devotees when we associate with devotees. And then we get the mercy of Guru. By the mercy of Guru, then we can remember the name of the Lord at the end of the day. So that is why we have to, if we have to become great Vaishnavas, as we discussed today, we have to associate with Vaishnavas and devotees. Then we can get it. Devotee association is very important. You had a question? No? You forgot?
No. It is mostly because is it because Ajamala was a very sinful person, but in the end still he managed to chant Narayana's name? Is it allowed or approved by the Shastras that even though you are a sinful person, in the end you just say Narayana and you will be cleared of all the sins? That gives a very bad message to the current generation. Right?
Wonderful. Exactly. This is the exact question I was expecting. So, do everything, all sins, and last, Narayan, protect me. That is not going to help. One point is, as I said before, mercy is important. We need to get the mercy of the Guru and Krishna. And by doing sinful activities, we don't get this. And Ajamil could do this because he was worshipping Narayan Shila, Shaligram Shila all his young life. And because of that piety, he could get the name of Lord Narayan to his 10th son. And because of that piety, and because the 10th son was there at the house, because of that piety, he could remember his son. And because of remembering his son's name, he could remember Lord Narayan. Okay? This is one thing. But this is not a wrong message for us, because in the Padma Puran, there are the discussions of 10 offenses to the holy names of the Lord. There are 10 offenses. This is described in the Padma Puran. One of the offenses is that sinning on the strength of the holy name is the biggest sin. So, this is exactly the question I was expecting. That I will do all sorts of things, pub, drink, dance, and then finally, Narayan, Krishna, and this is not gonna work. Sinning on the strength of Ekadashis, sinning on the strength of names, holy names of the Lord, this is not gonna work. This is actually a very big sin. This is a great offense against the holy name, against Ekadashis, and Lord Vishnu, Krishna, Lord Narayan is never happy with this kind of a devotee. This person is not even a devotee actually if he is doing this. You have a question?
Yeah, I have two questions. One is, as you said, Kirtan, participating in Kirtan, doing Kirtan will help us. So nowadays, the new trend has come up in the pub or in the party place. They call it Kirtan party. How valid is it? Is it good or?
So there can be Kirtan parties. We also have every Saturday Kirtan party, and right, Prabhu, we have every Saturday, like every end of every month.
No, that is
Last Saturday.
This is one thing. But in the pub it's a different thing. In the pub yes, of course you can chant the holy names of the Lord anytime, any moment, no contamination will affect. One, like people who are in sutaks or even eclipses. Sutak means the impure condition when someone has passed away and they have 10 days of sutaks and so on. Even during those times, even women who are having these monthly things, so everyone can chant the holy names of the Lord. There is nothing like impurity. Krishna's name, there is no impurity. Our body is impure. I mean, it's not really impure, but it's for the material body. But for chanting of the holy names of the Lord, no place is impure, no location or no situation in life is impure. But it has to be, there should be certain sanctity in also doing this. I mean, they cannot have a beer stand there and then chant the names of Hari here, Harinam Sankirtan, and then, I mean, this is...
You already said, in the strength of Harinam, you cannot do sin.
Yeah. So, I mean, this has to be a bit like taken in a right way. I mean, when someone is dealing that, we can take it personally how it is to be dealt. But I mean, in a lecture, I cannot really say the situation, and then I cannot answer. The second question you had?
The second question is, first Ajamil was into the holy practices and everything, and then he fall down. So how one can avoid that kind of situation?
Exactly, that is what in the 7th chapter Krishna says, right? So Daivihi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Maam Eva Ye Prapadyante. So Maam Eva, me only Prapadyante, surrender. This Mayam Etam Tarantite. This Maya, this material energies or the three modes of material nature through which we are doing these sinful activities. Krishna will relieve us from that. And then he can help us to cross Maya Metam Taranti, means crossover. So Krishna says, then you can cross over. Why? When you actually surrender to me. So this is also said in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Just surrender to me. Forget about everything. Just surrender to me. To Arjuna he is saying, but this is not for Arjuna, this is for us. So Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam, only me, surrender to me. Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mahashucha. So once we surrender to Krishna, he will get rid of all the Papa Karmas and then he will give the moksha or liberation and so on. So this is all described in the Bhagavad Gita. So we surrender to Krishna, a lot of things will come in place. We chant the holy names of the Lord, everything will come in place. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
I have actually just a little comment. Srinath Prabhu, he is giving every day, as I understood, his wonderful Vaishnava association to devotees, whoever wants. They are reading from different scriptures together.
Yes, Mataji, we are reading Prabhupada books every day, from Monday to Friday.
Wonderful, yeah. So this is really a wonderful opportunity because we need so much the guidance of devotees on a daily life. You may not be there maybe every day, but you can take advantage at least sometimes. So just like a little bit of advertising because it's an incredible sacrifice. Prabhu has so much to do in his job and family, but still he's doing that, and it yields wonderful results. There are even devotees who are, because of his association and his wife's association, about to get initiated by authorized spiritual master in a bona fide spiritual line in Sampradaya. So it's a great service he's doing, so take advantage. We need that support.
I'm not doing, Krishna is doing, Prabhupada is doing. I'm not doing, I'm just an instrument in there.
Is it Zoom reading?
So I have it on Zoom. Every Monday to Friday it will be on Zoom. But we only do it for 20 minutes or so Deva Prabhu is joining. So we do the book reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. And on Sunday, every Sunday we have Bhagavad Gita class for 1 hour from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Sahana Mataji and many of them are coming. But now we are almost getting close to the end of Bhagavad Gita. But after summer, we will start a new batch of Bhagavad Gita. That is the plan. We will pray for Krishna and Guru and Krishna to bless us. So if anyone is interested, please come to me, and then I will, I can give you more information. We do it on Zoom as well on every Sunday, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Bhagavad Gita classes. Okay? Yeah. Thank you very much.
I have one small question.
Yes.
I want to know the difference between destiny and choices. Like, okay, let's say I'm destined to become a Krishna Bhakti in this janam. Would I attain that destiny only if and only if I make a valid choice of like taking and chanting the holy name?
Mhm.
Or is it like is destiny like a wide option and we choose certain things and that's how we reach the destiny?
Basically, we have the free will.
Hmm.
So based on what we choose, we can get what we are choosing. So if I am working hard to become a scientist, I will become a scientist. I will not become an economist. So similarly, if our desire is to go back to Krishna Loka, then our effort should also be in that direction. And then accordingly, the destination or the destiny is designed. So, but if we desire that, okay, I'm doing all these bhakti yoga, I'm chanting, singing, dancing, everything, I'm doing all these things to have material benefits. Yes, for external world, it appears like, yeah, this person is wonderfully dancing in the name of Krishna's name. Externally, we cannot really understand that this person is a devotee or not a devotee. But this person, from his heart, he is doing all these things only to get to higher planetary systems. He will get this destiny. But we cannot understand. He went to this destiny, to Swargaloka. Oh, he was such a nice Prabhu. He was always dancing. He was always singing in the Kirtan. But how come he went to Swargaloka? How come he did not go to Vaikuntha, Goloka Vrindavan? Because his desire was not to go to Goloka Vrindavana. He was just taking advantage of the Bhakti Yoga process to elevate himself to higher planetary systems, get Punya Karma, and so on. Of course, Krishna notices all these things at the same time. So he keeps a record that this person is doing service to me. So definitely Krishna will make sure that even if this person goes to Swargaloka, this person will be given a chance to get back to Vaikuntha. Krishna will ensure that. Krishna is saying, I will never forget what people have done to me, what the devotees have done to me. Devotees are very dear to me, Krishna says. There are I think 8 shlokas or something in the end of, in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And there are 8 different shlokas, and Krishna very clearly says, who is very dear to me. And the last shloka he says that, of course, I'll not get into the details, but he says that these people are very dear to me. So Krishna will never leave the devotees. He always takes care of his devotees. So one might be at that moment a bit wrong in his thought process, in his conclusions, in his intentions, but he has done service to Krishna. So definitely Krishna will not leave that person. He will for sure hold that soul and get back. He will give opportunities. Only thing is we have to be disciplined. So we do get opportunities. Some people, I go and give Bhagavad Gita, for example, to someone, and then this person, no, I don't want Bhagavad Gita. I know. Krishna has actually sent that person to me so that he can get the Bhagavad Gita, he can get the knowledge. But that Krishna from the inside of the heart as Paramatma is guiding the soul that you go there and you get this. And when the person rejects that, Krishna is like, again, in this lifetime also this guy didn't come to me. So it's like that. So Krishna keeps giving us opportunities. We just have to be receptive and understanding. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare.